And we are live. Hello, everyone. Woo!
Hello to the chat.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Life of a Home Cook. I'm Leona Dooley of Ebony Ivy Thyme, and my co-host is my sister by another Miss Denise Jordan of Homemaking with Denise.
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here today. We are talking turkey.
Oh, yes, gobble, gobble, gobble. Denise, it was amazing. I started looking at the calendar. We've been talking about
Mhm.
planning, and I looked at that calendar and thought, oh my goodness, we
Thanksgiving is
need to
here
start
before we know it.
planning.
Yes,
Oh my goodness. And we need to get everybody else in on it.
that's right. Well, and you know what? The planning just makes it so much simpler. It takes some of the angst out of it. My daughter, who was misplaying everything, has been saying for the last 2 weeks, Mom, have you started planning Thanksgiving? I said, not yet. I'm planning on starting next week. But I thought I got my invitations out today.
Mhm,
And I sat down and started working on my menu, and I'm
mhm.
planning now. So
Hey,
it's a good
that's
time for us to do this show.
That's what we're doing. This has been such an incentive to get everything going, and I know that the schedules are going to be busy
Yeah.
because they're already filling up as we speak.
Hmm.
So, to all of you in the chat and those of you who are listening, we are just so glad to have you here with us tonight. And I think this is going to be an absolutely fun, informative show.
Yes.
So let's jump right in. Now, last week we talked a little bit about, well, we talked quite a bit about trying to ease anxiety.
Hmm.
If there's ever anything that causes major anxiety for the average homemaker, it is getting ready for any holiday.
Especially a major holiday. And we were talking about the invisible workload and
Mhm.
all the decisions that go along with that invisible workload. And Thanksgiving and Hanukkah and Christmas are three of the holidays that come with that invisible workload. A lot of
Oh,
decisions to be
yes.
made.
Oh yes, and if you're active in any organizations or church or whatever it is, I mean, honey, those people are already planning our Christmas play. They've already got us going. The
Hmm.
Christmas choir, it's already going, and I mean, they have a schedule that's already booked. And I'm
Hmm.
looking at it, going, I do have a life. I do
Yeah,
have a
yeah.
life. So we're going to try to get into it. But I thought the major portion of the meal, of course, is the bird
That
getting that
turkey,
turkey ready, and
guest of honor.
we have to be so careful with the turkey. And so, because we have a lot of young homemakers, then we need to make sure that everybody is on the same page, that everyone knows what they're supposed to do, and that no one ends up sick. And I
Yes.
would certainly be upset if someone got sick because either number one, I told them the wrong thing, or
Hmm.
number two, because I didn't tell them at all. So
Right.
we're going to make sure we do all of that tonight.
Well, let's just talk just real briefly since you brought that up. Now, I got to jump in when I put my little cap on.
Good,
So the
good.
community health nurse cap is popping out. And when you talked about people getting sick, one of the problems that comes along is cross contamination,
Mhm.
where people will have that chicken, that bird, whatever raw meat out. They have it in the sink, they have it on the counter, or they're touching it with their hands and then they're touching other things. One of the things you want to make sure you're doing is plenty of hand washing in
Mhm.
between handling birds. And just wearing gloves is not like the magic bullet, because people put those gloves on and then they think they're immune and then they're touching everything because they have gloves
Mhm.
on and leaving a trail of chicken juice or turkey juice everywhere. So just be careful when you're working with utensils with raw turkey. Once the turkey is put wherever it's going to be put, wash those utensils up with soap and water, maybe some bleach, get the sink and all that area cleaned up, clean the faucet, the handles, and even the little soap pump that you use
Mhm.
because you've touched all those things. So just be careful about cross contamination. Now I will.
Well, let me ask you this before you stop. Do you purchase like your little scrubbies, special scrubbies just to use for Thanksgiving when you're dealing with your turkey and those kind of things? I typically try to purchase number one, a brand new one before I start
Mm.
that holiday cooking. And then once I finish up with that turkey, into the trash it goes because once you start cleaning up and you're
Yeah.
trying to do all that, I don't want to take a chance. I know I can put it in the dishwasher, I can do all of that, but and also I'm a bleach girl,
Well,
but
I know that, but
they're
what I like to
inexpensive.
use is paper
Mhm.
towels. When I'm doing
Okay.
cleaning up after turkey and
Hmm.
raw chicken and that kind of thing, I will get my paper towels out and I have out my Clorox kitchen cleanup and I'm cleaning everything up with that and with paper towels and I'm constantly pitching those paper towels
Hmm.
and any dish towels that I might have out that I keep one by the counter that I might grab and dry my hands on. I collect all that stuff and throw it in the wash once I'm done with the turkey or the chicken or whatever. Because I really try to be careful because, like you said, I don't want anyone to get sick because of cross contamination.
That's the truth. That's the truth. Now I'm going to drop and I'm going to jump in real quick. Dave is asking, is that a thing as far as getting sick from the turkey? And so, Dave, let's just say we're referring to the turkey prior to it being cooked.
Hmm.
When it's raw turkey, raw chicken, to me, any raw meat,
Any raw meat.
make sure that you clean up well. And
Hmm.
if you are a I use if there's ever a time that I use Clorox, that's the time that I use it.
Hmm.
Or either just pure white bleach and water, but typically at that time of the year, I'm using some type of Clorox product. And now they have Clorox products that you can use. Thanks, Miss Denise found it, and I went out and bought two, and just to make sure that I had it. But it is, and we'll show you that next week.
Okay.
But I don't have one close, but I will make sure that you know exactly what to use. And
You can leave one in the description box for them.
yes, I'll do that. I'll do that. And then that way we can make sure that your area, all your faucets, all around your sink has been well cleaned.
Hmm.
And if you brine your chicken, then now I brine in like a styrofoam container, one of those big styrofoam coolers,
Hmm.
and then I throw it away. It's cheap enough that I can throw it away after I finish with that. But I buy it purposely for that and I eliminate it
Hmm.
because I know that there's no way that I can get no there's not enough bleach to be able to get that clean. So that's something that we have to be very, very careful with. So thanks, Dave, for bringing that because that was going to be one of the things that we talked about. Now, before we go any further, let me see who's here and say hello. And of course, everybody knows Dave's here. Yay! He's in
Yes.
the house. We've got Molly. Hello, Molly. We're glad you're here. And Molly was the first person here tonight. Yay! We've got Tamika. Tamika was next. Hello, hello. And of course, we have Dave, and he's saying hello to everyone. Michelle is here with us. Hold on one second. Let me uh got Deb Whitmore. Hold on. I kind of scooted down a little too far. Okay, got Michelle, who got on the gobble gobble. We're glad to have you here tonight, and Erica is here. Hello, Erica. I'm so glad you're with us tonight. Tamika said that yes, we have all the same color. It's a very pretty fall color, and no,
Hmm.
we didn't even plan it. Both of us have been ripping and running all day today, but it just worked out that way.
Hmm.
T is with us. Thank you, thank you. Yes, we're twinning today, as the kids would say.
Hmm.
Tommy Bites Homestead, we're glad to have you here with us.
Tommy, I was watching her video earlier today.
Mhm,
Tommy, she provides so much great information about what's going on in today's crazy world. And
mhm.
she was talking quite a bit about benefits and things like that. If you guys have not checked out Tommy Bites Homestead, you definitely need to check her out. And
I
it was on, I think, oh, I'm not sure which channel it was that I saw the Walmart looting, but
mhm.
check out Tommy Bites Homestead. She keeps you up to date on what's going on with everything. So be sure and check her out. And
Absolutely.
we're doing well.
We are so glad you're here tonight. We've got Judy who's with us tonight, as well as vibing with Yaya. Hello, we're glad to
Hi,
have you
Yaya.
with us. And Chanel is here tonight. It's the favorite time of the year. Yes, it is. We get excited. We get excited. Tutu's here tonight. Hello, hello. And Tommy's sharing with us that Walmart has turkeys for 85 cents per pound.
Oh, wow. That's pretty darn
That's
good.
that's a really good
That's
price.
the best price I've seen.
I know. I know. I think that's even better than Aldi's.
I think it might be.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So we'll keep that in mind. Thank you for sharing that.
Mhm.
Carmen is here with us tonight. And oh, good. I'm so glad you got to come in live with us. It's a lot of fun here. We have a good time. Now, vibing with Yaya said that she's gotten all of her Thanksgiving meal already. Good for
Good
you.
for you. I think I'm going to get mine tomorrow.
Hmm.
I don't want to
Well,
be in the store this Saturday. I'm going to go tomorrow.
yeah, well,
Tomorrow or Friday.
I know Miss Denise knows, but I have house guests, so
Mhm.
I probably won't do it until after they leave. But as soon as they leave, I'm on it. Now, I have to admit, I happened to go in the store and found Pepperidge Farm, the little cubes for the season dressing, which I
Mhm.
love. And that was one of the things we didn't put on the list, some dressing. And so anyway, I was so glad to get that. So I am ready in that respect. But we are still looking, trying to get the best prices. And when we find all that, we will certainly share that with you.
Mhm.
Hello, Hazel. We're so glad to have you. And Carmen's asked, did we color coordinate? No, we didn't. We're just great minds that think alike.
Yes, we do think alike.
Oh, Ella, you're here. Yay, we're glad to have you with us. And Nita B is here. And she said she's totally ready for Thanksgiving. That's wonderful. Now, Relax Bubble, we're glad to have you. I love that name. That
Oh,
is
you
so
are
cute.
here. I love it.
From California. I love it. I love it. Glad you're here with us. And of course, we have Deb with us and hope we're keeping warm. And you know, Deb, it was 73 today.
What? Oh
Yes.
no, it was like 50 something here today. It was cold. The wind was blowing enough to blow you down. So it's chilly here. Chilly, chilly,
Oh
bang, bang.
no.
Yes.
Oh no. Well,
Go ahead.
I better do this
Mhm.
because we enjoyed a beautiful day today. Um, so I'm going to stop here so we can get into it, and then I'll pick up everybody as we go from there. But I did happen to notice, you were talking about washing hands, making sure that your hands are clean. And, guys, Ella happened to mention that too, that washing your hands frequently, even before you put on the gloves, is important as well. And that is absolutely true. And like today, I've been in, I think, in about 5 pairs of gloves today at least, because I was serving food. And so it's one of those things that I've gotten to the point now. I don't do it as much at home most of the time, depending upon what it is that I'm
Mhm.
preparing. But when I'm preparing for other people, then yeah, I'm definitely going to be in gloves. All right, so we will pick up with Vicky. I'll pick you up in just a little while. We're going to get started. Now we want to make sure that we have peace in the kitchen.
Yes.
And we want each of us to enjoy what we're doing in the kitchen. And so the only way we can do that is to plan well. And, when you plan well, you do a great thing and your meal comes out the way
Mhm.
you want it. So whether it's your first turkey or your 50th, it won't matter because we're going to talk about real turkey talk, some easy tips of things to do, and we might even tell a few stories that.
Answer some common questions.
So, my first question for you all tonight is I know all of us work with turkeys. And what size turkey do you normally purchase for your family? When you purchase your Thanksgiving turkey, what size turkey do you get? Let us know in the chat because I'm curious. I was talking to someone and I noticed at the grocery store that I went in, they did not have any smaller size turkeys. And when I asked the lady who was putting the turkeys in, she said that they decided this year that they were going to go with larger turkeys because no, the smaller turkeys were usually left. So I'm curious to see. And we're talking turkeys that are at least 20 pounds and larger. That's what they had. And so I'm curious. All right. So I'm thinking about a 15-pound turkey. And Miss Janice, how do you thaw your turkey? Do you put it into the refrigerator and let it thaw? Or do you put it into the sink and let it thaw in cool water? What do you do?
I put my turkey in the refrigerator, so
Mhm,
I will get it out 3 to 5 days before it's time for me to roast that turkey. So if Thanksgiving is on Thursday, I
mhm,
need to have that turkey in the refrigerator no later than Monday of the
mhm.
week of Thanksgiving. And depending upon how large a turkey it is, it may need to be in there on Sunday. So, and I did look that up. And so if you've got a turkey that's, I believe, more than 12 pounds, you
Mhm.
need to have about 4 days to let that turkey thaw out. So, ladies and gents, get those turkeys out of the freezer at
That's
least 4 days before Thanksgiving. So, get them out by Sunday. And, if it thaws out by Tuesday or Wednesday, it can
right.
sit in the fridge for a day thawed out.
Oh,
But what
yeah.
you don't want to do is have to be trying to unthaw a turkey on Thanksgiving morning.
And you certainly don't want one that you cooked on the outside and it's still frozen on the inside with
No.
all the giblets inside. That
Mhm.
you don't want to happen.
So now,
Now,
since we're talking about that, let's just ask people who has made that mistake. Which of you have roasted your first turkey and didn't know there were giblets and necks and all that kind of stuff inside the turkey, and you cut into the turkey and then it was like, wait, what's
what is
that?
that?
Who's
What's
done
that
that?
little?
I've heard that story a lot. So who's done
I
that?
have too. I have too. Now, while you all are answering, I put on the screen the number that you may want to write down because if you have any questions about your turkey, you don't have to have a Butterball turkey. You can have whatever brand it is. But these are the people. If you want to find out about turkeys and what should and shouldn't be done, if you have any questions whatsoever, call the Butterball line. You can even text them. This is new. You can text them with your question and they will answer it, which is really cool. As well as um, their website. They do have a website, and I'll flash these back and forth.
Mhm.
But the Butterball also has a website that has lots of recipes. They've got everything. So I think you will enjoy, if nothing else, just to go and peruse and see, what's going on this year. You might want to do something new with your turkey.
Yes.
And so, if that's the case, I'm always open for trying something else.
Mhm.
And so, this is a good way to be able to check out from the experts, the turkey
Yeah.
experts. So, just keep that in mind. So, I'm going to leave that up while we're talking. Now, so like Miss Janice said, at least they say 24 hours for every 4 to 5 pounds. And so Monday is if you have a moderately sized or smaller turkey. So like if you have a 15, 16 pounder, then definitely Monday, that baby needs to go in the freezer first thing or
In the
go in the refrigerator first
Mhm.
thing. But if you have anything larger than that, then you may even have to take it out on Saturday to make
Yes.
sure that your turkey is thawed. And you do not want to sit your turkey out on the counter and
No.
to try to thaw it. That is not, you are just asking for trouble and bacteria. So
Right.
we
When you spread it out on the counter, especially when you've got the innards and stuff in it, that
have,
just allows bacteria to grow on the inside. So you do not want to do that.
now while you mentioned the word inside.
Oh,
So while since you mentioned inside, do you cook your stuffing? Do you stuff it in the turkey or do you cook it outside of the turkey in a container?
I cook it on the side. I cook it in another container. The USDA, the U.S. Department of Agriculture, stopped recommending people to stuff turkeys, chicken years ago. So because of the chance of, um, I think it's salmonella and other
Salmonella. Mm-hmm.
salmonella and other
Mm-hmm.
infections that come from the interior of the turkey not
Mm-hmm.
getting to the correct temperature, and then the
Mm-hmm.
dressing in that, the stuffing in that turkey not coming to the correct
Mm-hmm.
temperature, and people were getting sick. So we don't do that
Mm-hmm.
anymore. And then
No,
if any of y'all are still doing it, stop. It
no.
is a health hazard, and you
Mm-hmm.
don't want to harm yourself or your family. And I know somebody gonna say, "Look, I've been doing that for years, and I've been fine." Well, maybe you have, but you would hate that one day you do that and somebody's not fine.
Absolutely, absolutely. Don't take the chance.
When you
And
know better, you know better.
yeah, I can tell you the story. A friend of mine, luckily wasn't at my house. I didn't do it, but evidently she had placed her turkey in the process. She thawed her turkey outside of the refrigerator and left it out on the counter. She just did it. She did it overnight because it seemed like it wasn't thawing fast enough. And she just figured, okay, I'll just leave it out quick. It's not going to be out long. And it was like everybody came down with these flu-like symptoms, and they're all wondering who was sick, who had the cold, who had the so and so. Come to find out that they were sick because of the turkey,
Mm.
that it caused these flu-like symptoms to flare up. And so we have to be careful because,
Yeah.
and two, so many people have allergies and all those kind of things, so we don't need to mix up anything, or get anything
So,
going. So we want everyone to be healthy. Now, we've answered the question of how much turkey we need per person, and that's about 1.5 pounds per person. Now, that's per adult,
yes.
not children. Now, we can basically say we're lucky if they eat a full slice. And usually it's probably going to be a little less than that. Or there's a particular part of the turkey that they like. And I know I make a giblet. I take part of the giblets, I cook them to make turkey broth.
Hmm.
And then I take those giblets, chop them up, and I put some in the dressing
Hmm.
and some in the gravy. And so, do you make giblet gravy as well?
I don't make giblet gravy anymore. I used to, but I don't cook organ meats anymore. I've got high
Mhm,
cholesterol level and, history of AFib. So
mhm,
I try not to eat organ meats anymore.
mhm,
Um, So I don't do that, but I
mhm,
will take the turkey neck and I
mhm,
take those
mhm,
giblets and I will boil them and I will take the broth off of them and I will make gravy. So
mhm, mhm.
I would do that.
Yeah. So, well, I have to be careful because um, I use basically neck, the turkey neck,
Mhm.
but I like the rest of it. And so, but I have family members
Mm-hmm.
who, if they find any of those little pieces, that's going to be the end of whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
So I typically keep those off to the side and do something else with them.
Mm-hmm.
You're right. And so, because, kids can find the most minute thing.
Microscopic.
Oh, you just look
And
and
you
go,
know what I'll do too, Leona, since you're talking about that, is
mhm,
when I'm cleaning the turkey at the sink and I'm removing the giblets from the turkey, what I will
mhm,
do, I will either get out a bowl and set it on the counter, and then I
mhm,
will put the giblets and whatever I'm not going to use right away and put it in the bowl. That way
mhm.
I'm not sitting it on the counter or something else. I'll put it in the bowl.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not touching the bowl. I've already got the bowl out ahead of time. Then
Mhm,
I'll put it in the bowl and finish doing whatever I'm doing. And then
mhm,
I can set the bowl in the fridge or cover it
mhm,
with saran wrap or whatever. And then when I get ready to work with those things, they've
mhm.
been contained. I'm not dripping turkey juice all over the counter or all over my refrigerator.
That's true. And if you're planning to have rubber gloves, then purchase several, because what I typically do, I try to buy them by the box, to be honest
Mhm,
with you. I buy the packs like you can get at Walmart or wherever.
mhm.
But and they have to be food safe. And
Yes.
but as you're working with them, if you know you're not going to use the giblets, then with your gloved hand, just take your gloved hand, slip that glove right over it, tie that glove up, and toss him away. And
Hmm.
that way, none of that is contaminating the area
Right.
in
Perfect.
around. So,
Disposal.
those are things to be careful with. Now, when I know I love to brine my turkey in like apple cider. That's
Hmm.
my favorite thing, doing it in apple cider. And my son is a dry brine kind of person, and we kind of go back and forth. Mine is better than yours, and we get the competition is on. What do
Hmm.
you do?
I like to do a wet brine on mine, and I
Mhm,
kind of do something similar to what Martha Stewart does. I watched her do
mhm.
hers about 10 years ago, and it could have been longer. I don't know. Me and Martha are older, so but like I'll put um, a gallon or two of water in like
Mhm,
a large stock pan.
mhm,
I will add a couple of cups of salt and then
mhm,
apple cider, and
mhm,
then slice up an onion, some
mhm,
oranges, some black peppercorns,
mhm,
and bay leaves, that kind of thing. And then I
mhm,
would put the turkey in that and
mhm,
let it sit in the fridge overnight. And
mhm.
that puppy is heavy once you
Yes.
get it in that pan with
Oh,
all
yes.
liquid. So I
Mhm,
have to get the hubby to put it in the refrigerator for me, and I
mhm,
have to get him to get it out. And I
mhm.
have to make sure before I get ready to put it in the fridge that I've already made arrangements to make space in the fridge so that it'll sit in there.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I put mine, like I said, in the cooler, and
Hmm.
one that I can throw away.
Hmm.
And but I make sure that I purchase a bag of ice just strictly for that turkey. And so it's an iced brine that goes in there, because I want to make sure that it stays at the temperature it's supposed to be. So I just continue to add ice until it's ready. But you're right. It is heavy. It is very heavy. And I keep
Hmm.
it right over under the sink so that I don't have far to have to deal with it. And I just get the big guy to, pick it up, and we do the transferring. But it's always a lot of fun. But once a turkey is in the oven, then phew, that's the hardest part, getting that turkey ready. And so, just a reminder for those of you who may just be dropping in, that we gave out the information that if you have any questions about your turkey, or you want new recipes that you might want to try with your turkey, you can certainly call Butterball for any questions.
Hmm.
And you can go to the Butterball site and find wonderful recipes that are there as well. So keep that in mind. Now, I like to, I typically, because I usually get at least a 20 to 25 pound. And so we like lots of leftovers.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know it's got to cook. It's got to cook. That's the bottom line. So I typically get it ready. I put it in about 1 o'clock at night,
Mm-hmm.
and I let it go through the night. And so that almost by morning, by the time we finish up, everybody's up. Then the turkey's ready to come out. And
Mm-hmm.
and guys, that is an advantage because of the fact that it frees up your oven. So
Yes.
that's something to think about your timing of your turkey as you're making your plans. Now, how many of you in the chat have a meat thermometer? That is something, and while you're typing, we're going to say hello to a few more people. And we have Tommy's sharing with us that Aldi's has a $40 Thanksgiving that she's going to be doing and donating to a food pantry. That's a great idea. Great idea. And
Tommy, you.
I love that. And I'm glad you brought Aldi up because we have, let me go here. And that's something we're going to talk about. We're talking about the Aldi's Feast. And it gives you an opportunity to be able, this is the site.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're interested, go to Aldi's and it will give you an opportunity to select the items that you want. You can certainly spend the $40 and have a delicious meal. You can spend maybe just a little bit over if you want to zhuzh some of the things up, depending upon what you have in your pantry. This is a good time to
Mm-hmm.
stock that pantry. Make sure you've got the things in the pantry that you need, your spices, all
Yeah.
those good things, so that you're ready for to receive your turkey. So keep that in mind.
I
So
was at Aldi the other day and I checked with the clerk to find out how does the $40 feast work? Like, do you come in and you like just get a bunch of stuff in a box? Is it on a list? And she said you can go down the list and all the things on the list have been reduced in price already on the shelf. And you
mm,
can just pick the things up off the shelf, put them in your cart. And if you get everything that's on the list, it's $40. But
mhm,
you don't have to buy it all. There
mhm,
might be something that you don't need. For example, if you don't make green bean casserole, you don't need the French fried onions. But
mhm,
if you do make mac and cheese, you might use that money to maybe buy a block of cheese so that you can zhuzh up that box of mac
mhm.
and cheese that you get. So you don't have to spend the $40. And they had a turkey in the meat case that was like $10.89 for the whole turkey. And I'm like, what? So
I
that
know.
turkey is like at after Thanksgiving prices. Oh,
Mhm.
so
Already.
check out Aldi. And then I think it was Tommy that said Walmart had turkeys for 89 cents a pound.
Mhm,
And
85
somebody else, I
cents.
think Dolores said 59 in Seattle. So I don't know if
Oh,
it's 59 degrees or 59 cents. You're gonna have to let us,
okay, I'll have to check her out.
yeah, it's
Also,
59 degrees or 59 cents. But the
mhm,
turkey is probably the most expensive part of the
mhm,
meal if that's what you choose to have. And right now, a turkey is probably going to be a little bit cheaper than a chicken because a
that's
whole
true.
chicken is more than the last time I was at Kroger, it was like $1.99 a pound.
Mhm,
So you can get
mhm,
turkey cheaper than chicken right now. So think about
right.
that.
So this is a good time. And, to think about, you may want to go just a little larger and have leftovers that you
Yeah.
can use for other dishes after Thanksgiving is all over with. Now, Kroger's, I purposely pulled up Kroger's as well because they have a Thanksgiving dinner that they will prepare for you. And it's not outrageous, to be honest with you. One year I was sick and could not cook Thanksgiving dinner. And so the big guy looked at me, well, what are we going to do for Thanksgiving? And I said, well, honey, I think we're going to call Kroger and let Kroger handle it.
Somebody in here said they were ordering their dinner. Who was it? I can't see.
Let's see.
Oh, Stephen Miller.
All right.
Stephen Miller says he's cheating this year.
All right. That's okay. That's okay. Michelle said that they get the biggest turkey in the case. She said because they have a large family and they like all the leftovers. Denise said, of course, that she usually gets a 12 to 15 pounder. Vicky said that she purchases usually about a 15 to 20 pound turkey. Now Dave said that he usually goes with turkey legs because it's just him. And
Mm.
Dave, I just bought some turkey legs this past week because I was preparing a special dish for my guest and needed turkey. So I just grabbed some turkey legs. So that's a great, a good thing to have in your freezer. Tommy said she used to do the 20-pound turkeys, but she looks for 10 to 15. And she said she'll freeze any that's left for soups or pot pie. That's
Yeah.
a great idea.
Mhm.
Or you may even consider purchasing, if you get a good price, get two 15-pounders, put one in the freezer if you have space.
Mhm.
This is a great time to be able to do that. Anita
Well,
B
the other
said,
thing too is if you're
mhm,
having a big crowd over, instead of
mhm,
like you said, you got a 25-pound turkey. I
mhm,
assume my oven will hold a 25-pound turkey, but I don't
mhm,
think I've ever tried to cook a turkey that big. I
mhm,
would rather buy two smaller turkeys, like two 15-pound turkeys,
mhm,
and roast those, and
mhm,
then just, maybe take the meat off one and have it
mhm,
already cut, and then
mhm.
bring the other one out, for show or whatever,
So,
rather than
mhm.
try to cook one like large one.
Yeah, well, like I said, we usually do a large one and we do slice it.
Mhm.
And in fact, it's funny because we have a turkey challenge with our family, and between my son, my daughter, and myself, everybody does their turkey their way, and all of that turkey arrives at wherever the location is for the holiday. So there's lots of leftovers. Everybody goes home with turkey,
Mhm.
and so it's fun. It's
Wait, does everybody bring turkey?
the three of them. Yeah,
All
we
3
have
of you will bring
three
turkey?
turkeys.
Oh,
Uh-huh.
wow.
And so, we end up, like I said, with a ton of turkey, but it's nice because all the guests who are there for that holiday get to take a substantial amount of turkey home.
And you
So,
have food at your house too.
uh-huh, uh-huh.
Mhm.
So, vibing with Yaya said she typically gets a 15-pound, and she said this year she's going to do a 20 because she's having some guests, and
Mhm.
that's a good idea. Um, Doris said that she has a smaller family now, so she's staying somewhere between 12 to 15. And Relaxed Bubble said she's at about a 15-pounder.
Mhm.
So Nitty T said that she purchases two 12 to 14-pound turkeys so they can have one roasted and one fried. Oh, I like that. I like that.
Mm.
And
Let's talk
uh,
about how we actually cook our turkeys. Oh, well, let's
oh,
see what Tommy's got to say.
Tommy said that's what her mom used to tell her, take it out and let it thaw in the fridge ahead of time. And if it thaws before Thursday, that's it. And brine it for Thursday's cooking. And so that's a good idea. That's a
Mhm.
great idea to be able to do that. Um, okay, Sharon Tech said she typically buys a 14 to 16. So on average,
Mhm.
most people are around that 12 to 15-pound range. Now, so let's talk about cooking.
Mhm. Okay.
Well, um, Miss Denise, I'm going to use my aroma. I'm going to use my,
Oh, I have an aroma pot, an aroma roaster that I'm going to cook my turkey in this year as well. I used to put it in the oven, but it just dawned
Mhm,
on me. I'm like, oh, wait, I got my aroma cooker. So this will
mhm.
be the second time I think that I've been able to use it for Thanksgiving turkey.
Yes.
So when I get ready to cook mine, like once I get
Mhm,
it out of the brine, I will pat it dry. Now you don't have to rinse it off. You just
mhm,
have to pat it dry because you want to make sure the outer skin is nice and dry. And
mhm,
then I will take butter and I will like put little slits in the under the skin, or I will get
mhm,
underneath the skin and like rub butter all under, like herbs butter all
Mhm.
underneath the skin, and then on the inside of the turkey, and then all around the turkey. Then sprinkle it with salt and pepper, and then I'll drizzle like honey on the top. And
Ooh.
quarter a quart of water in the bottom of the roasting pan, and put the lid on it, and then let it roast at 350 for a while, for however many hours I need it to go.
Uh-huh.
I'll use my thermometer to make sure that it's come to 165 degrees Fahrenheit
Mhm.
in the turkey breast. And
Mhm.
then, like in the thigh, you reminded me, in the thigh, it needs to be 170. And I
Mhm.
really wanted to bring that out because, a lot of times you'll get a rotisserie chicken and in
Mhm.
the breast it's nice and cool, but when you try to
Yes,
between the thigh or somewhere, it's always a little pink.
a little pink.
Because they didn't make sure the temperature was where it needed to be in the thigh area. So you
Yeah,
want to make sure that in the thigh area it's 170 degrees. So
right.
then I let it roast for several hours, and then I
Mhm.
take the lid off. And I'm not checking on it every 10 minutes, like you said. I'm not doing that, but I
Mhm.
will go in about every 30 minutes and just scoop some of the basting, some of that
Yep.
juice over the top, put the lid
Oh,
back.
yeah. Oh, yeah, because I tell you, there is nothing like all the broth that comes off of that turkey. That is the best ever. Even though we boil the neck and we do that, to make additional broth, but there is nothing like the goodness that comes out of that pan where
Mhm.
that turkey's been. And so I'm kind of with you. I like being able to go up under that skin and get that herb butter under there. And if I have time, if it thaws early, I will even make the attempt to put the turkey in the refrigerator uncovered overnight. And what that does is that it helps to dry out the skin.
Mhm.
And so when
'Cause
you
you like a dry brine, right?
no, I do the wet brine.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
do the wet, and my son does the dry.
Ah,
And
okay.
he does the dry, and he puts his
Mhm,
into the refrigerator and lets it stay so
mm,
that the skin will be nice and crispy, because I do
mm,
like the crispy skin.
mhm.
And so, but that gives you, options of being able to do that. Now, I do have a friend, and she's off the reservation as far as I'm concerned. She uses mayonnaise, either
Maybe.
Duke's or Hellman's, and rubs it all. She's the prettiest turkey. I kid you not. Rubs it all over her turkey. And then she puts her seasonings and all that on it. And that turkey is moist. That skin is crispy. And
Mm,
I'm going, really?
maybe isn't there a lot of butter or oil in the mayonnaise?
There's oil in the
Maybe that's what
mayonnaise,
that's
and
what
I'm thinking that's what it is. And she said she did it. We tasted the turkey. It was so moist. And she said her mom had done that all of her life, had
Oh,
always used mayonnaise. And in fact, it's funny, I was telling my husband about that, and he said his mom did the same thing, but the only difference is she made her own mayonnaise
oh,
from scratch.
okay.
I said, "Oh, excuse me." And so she made her own and then put it all over the bird. And she did it with chicken as well, if she was going to bake a whole chicken.
I'm gonna try that with chicken and see what happens.
Yeah, yeah. But, there's tons of options, but
Mhm,
you can't steer wrong. If you aren't sure about it, you've got Southern Living.
mhm,
Southern Living has a beautiful Thanksgiving book that's out, as well as Entertain and Celebrate. And
Better
we'll
Home
bring
and Garden does a turkey
Better
edition
Homes and Garden.
every year.
Yes, yes. And in fact, you can go to Southern Living's website. They have a special page for Thanksgiving, as well as Better Homes and Garden has
Mhm,
a really nice layout for Thanksgiving with lots and lots of suggestions.
mhm,
Now, when you take your turkey out and you have checked the temperature,
mhm.
if you go to the leg you should be able to take the leg and twist it. It should be loose. That if you don't have a thermometer, this is your next best bet.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that leg and give him a good twist. If you have any resistance whatsoever, it needs to go back in the oven for just a little while longer. And when it gets to the point that you can turn it, then you know the baby's ready,
Yeah.
because the breast is going to be ready sooner than those joints of the leg. So
Mm-hmm.
keep that in mind, if just in case, because everybody doesn't have a thermometer, and
No.
I'm not, but there
And
it
everyone doesn't have an aroma roaster.
that's true. That's true.
One of my very good friends gave me one. Won't say who.
So, and it's I have to admit, I get fussed at every year because my husband says, Leona, I can't believe you have this big roaster and all you do is roast turkey in it. And so I said, well, honey, I'm going to start finding other things to cook in it. But, it's just that I bought it for my turkey.
You can roast two chickens in it.
That's true. That's true. I
That's
said, you know what?
simple.
I'm cooking for everybody else. I can pull out the aroma. And it's so convenient because it frees up your oven.
And that's the thing. So now let's talk about that. Let's
Yes.
talk about that. So one of the questions you asked me to think about was problems I might have had with cooking the turkey or the first turkey. And I
Hmm.
really couldn't remember because I thought when I was younger, when we would come home, we either went to my mom's or we went to his folks' house. We took
Hmm.
turns. And so I wasn't making the turkey. So the first Thanksgiving or Christmas dinner that we made, and I can't remember which it was now, we
Hmm.
weren't home. We were still away in Indianapolis for
Hmm.
school and living in our little apartment. We didn't have a window a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. Excuse my language, but that's the truth. And we bought a duck. And I cooked that duck. I can't remember how I cooked it. I looked up something. It was so greasy, so oily. And I guess ducks are just oily, whatever. But I've never cooked one since. I'm like, that wasn't the best experience. But I remember once we were having Thanksgiving dinner and we were here in this house. My
Hmm.
husband's brothers had come from out of town. So they were all here. My family's all here. Dinner was supposed to be at 4 o'clock and the turkey was not done. And I thought this
Oh.
turkey's going to need at least another hour, if not longer. And folks
Hmm.
were hungry. I got a chicken out of the freezer, put it in the microwave to thaw it out,
Hmm.
cut it up quickly, and I not pan fried it, but I like kind of
Hmm.
pan broiled it on top of
Hmm.
the stove. I
Hmm.
had that chicken ready in less than an hour. So now the chicken was ready before the turkey was ready. And then the folks wanted to eat the chicken. I'm like, they're like, oh, well, it's like, okay, so they're eating the chicken. But then when the turkey came out, they're like, oh, well, I'll get this instead because I was able to get the turkey out in time. But I didn't think I was going to make it. So I thought, okay, I better go with
Hmm.
plan B. But yeah, that was not fun.
Well, that's at least you didn't burn up the place. My first Thanksgiving, my macaroni and cheese bubbled over and bubbled over so bad. I had a pan underneath of it,
Mhm.
but it started smoking and it smoked and smoked. And of course, you're trying to open the oven to try to pull the pan out, and whoosh
Oh
went
yeah,
this
smoke
big
everywhere.
thing of smoke. And oh my gosh, everybody came running in the kitchen. It was my first Thanksgiving, and I started crying. And that's all I can do. Oh, I can't believe it. The macaroni and cheese was probably the best I've ever made, but it was so funny. We were throwing open windows because we were trying to keep the smoke alarm from going off, and
Mhm.
of course, it went off just because
Yeah.
it had to do that. And I was so embarrassed, I couldn't stand it, and so I just couldn't believe. So my tip to everyone: macaroni and cheese, sweet potatoes, those kind of things that you're going to put into the oven, have two two pans, and don't try to fill it up so much,
Yeah.
because I tried to put everything into one big pan. It was a mistake, because once it got to bubbling, everything made a mess. And you
Mhm.
end up with this oven that you end up having to clean the next day. And so that, and back in the dark ages, we didn't have self-cleaning ovens. We had to scrub.
We had to scrub,
So
scrub, scrub.
ah,
Yes.
so here I was trying to scrub that oven and get it clean again. So just, we have to tell you these funny stories, because understand, we have probably done it. Miss Denise, I'm looking over here, and we had asked the question about how many people had left the
Oh,
giblets and the
do we
turkey.
have some answers?
And oh yeah, bless their hearts. We got Dolores Wilson says she's guilty. Um, Brenda said, me, her first turkey. She said she had no idea there was a bag of giblets inside. Um, and let me go down and see if I have another. Well, those were the two brave ones that told that they actually that they had left it
Mhm.
in the turkey. It happens. It happens. It happens.
It happens. So
So,
since we're talking about this now, for you young homemakers or even you seasoned homemakers, if you've never roasted a turkey before, usually there is a bag of giblets inside the turkey. So you want to go that back cavity, there is a bag of giblets, and then the front cavity where they cut the neck off, sometimes it might be a few little, like a little small bag of giblets up there. So check the back cavity and the front cavity to make sure you've got everything out. And I like to rinse the inside of that bird out,
me
both
too.
the neck, through the neck and then through
Mhm,
the back,
mhm,
so that I've got everything out. And then I get it out of the sink and into my roasting pan,
mhm,
dry it off, pat it dry,
mhm.
because you can't butter it or do whatever you're going to do to it. It won't
If
accept
it's wet. Mm-mm.
spices, the seasonings, if it's wet. So you want to dry it off. And I dry it off with paper towels. I get my paper towels out, they get a good workout
Oh
during
yeah,
Thanksgiving and Christmas.
that's right. And if there's ever a time when you want to make sure that you have plenty of paper towels, this is
Yeah.
the time. We were talking about dressing,
Mhm.
and Molly said that she puts dressing in pans.
Mhm.
Um, Yaya said that she cooks hers by itself and does her dressing separately.
Yes.
Tommy said that she cooks a dressing on the side, but if you want to make it cute, cook it by itself and then put it in the turkey once the turkey is done. Now, that's a thought
That's
that, yeah, to just spoon the dressing into the turkey.
But then you're going to have to scrape it out
Then
before
you gotta,
you put the
yeah,
turkey
you gotta
in the
take
pan.
it out. So, it depends. If you're going for then yes, I'd go with that. But
See what you're
my
saying?
family is like, they don't care. So
You know what I do like to do? Once that turkey has been roasting a good while and the
Mhm,
juices have been starting to come out, I
mhm,
like to scoop up a couple of ladles fulls of broth out
mhm.
of the pan, and I will pour it over the top of the dressing and then
Oh,
put the
yes.
dressing in the oven. So that way you get that flavor in the dressing almost as if it was roasted in the turkey, but it was
Mhm,
not. Now, if you're going to
absolutely.
do that, you want to have your dressing to be a little bit drier when you
Mhm,
bake it, because you're going to pour that additional broth on top, and then you're
mhm,
going to bake it, and that's going to
mhm.
cook everything through.
Absolutely,
Oh, yeah.
absolutely. Vicky said that she prefers to make she does a cornbread dressing
Mhm.
and on the side, and she uses it as a side dish.
Yes, and
You
that's what everyone should do today. I just want to say again,
Mhm.
the United States Department of Agriculture does not recommend stuffing the bird, turkey
That's
or
right.
chicken. They do not recommend stuffing the bird because of the possibility of salmonella
Mhm.
and other, foodborne illnesses. So cook it on the side.
Absolutely. Sharon Tack said a meat thermometer is a must. She said um, she served a undercooked turkey at
She
a
was
family.
served.
Uh-huh. Um, at a family member's Christmas dinner. And she said she had to cook her family a Christmas dinner the Sunday after Christmas that year. So, it happens. And, meat thermometers really aren't that expensive. I
No, they're
think they're
not.
like $5 or less. And,
Do you
but
have one in your description box?
I do. I do.
Okay.
I have one that's in there. And actually I have one that's a digital, and it wasn't that pricey. It really was not pricey at all.
I
And
like the
so
kind that, with the little round thing on the top. You
mhm,
can stick them in.
mhm,
But regardless, you need a meat thermometer. Sharon Talk is right. You
is
got to have
absolutely
one.
right. It is to your benefit, and you will find that you will use it for all kinds of things. Um
Get
now
Debbie, Debbie's Kitchen. Get Debbie. She's got a good comment.
wait a minute, hold on. Let's see. Is she down below?
Yeah.
Yes, about her mom.
Uh,
Starts with my mom.
no. 827.
Okay. Oh, okay. So she has a digital meat thermometer.
I
Uh,
learned from my mom. I learned over 20
oh
years
yeah.
from the
Okay.
chef.
Wait a minute. Okay, that
People
wasn't.
making all kind of good comments tonight. We can't
Yeah,
touch them
I
all.
don't think that's it. My mom used to buy 25, 30,
Ooh.
and she has a big family, and they all came over to her parents' house when she was growing up. Debbie also said that she's got a digital thermometer. I love those.
Mhm.
She says she waits until the close, wait till the close, wait until close of Thanksgiving to buy the turkey because they're usually even less then. So
Mhm.
you're saying, Debbie, that on Thanksgiving you wait till that night, and or the day before Thanksgiving you
Mhm.
buy it at that point.
She's getting a fresh one.
Yeah, I do too. Um, I'm trying to see, did I?
She's got
Oh,
one.
here she is. Uh,
Yeah.
she said she learned over 20 years ago from a chef she was watching on television about cooking the perfect turkey. And that's to add apples and celery in the cavity and turn it breast side down. And all the juices run into the breast. And that's true.
I've
This
heard of
Ina Garden does that as well, and I think Martha has done it a
it.
couple of times as well, of where you cook it on the breast side, and you don't turn it over until like the last hour, and
And
that
then
way
you
you can
back.
crisp up the skin, get the skin nice and crispy.
It'd
But
be kind of hard flipping it back
it
over.
is a chore. But now they look like hands, the
Mm-hmm.
prongs that you can put
Yeah.
into the turkey. So that helps you to kind of flip it back and forth. But depending on the size of the turkey, you may have to have some help.
Mm-hmm.
She said it always turns out tender and juicy. She also puts it in a brown paper bag. That's what my mom did. She cooked every turkey we had in a brown paper bag.
Heard of that, but I've never seen anyone do it. How does that work?
Well, you get it all zhuzhed up the way you want it,
Mm-hmm.
slide it into the paper bag and let it cook. So every all the juices, everything stays inside the bag. You kind of close the end of the bag
Don't
up.
the bag fall apart?
No, no. Mm-mm. All right, at least the old ones didn't. I don't know about
Yeah.
these new ones, but they should stay together.
Mm-hmm.
And then you just have to cut it open and let it finish browning, and
Aroma.
you get a beautiful, beautiful turkey. It really
Okay.
does. She said she also puts pats of butter under the skin, like we were talking about.
Now I
Uh,
like that we're getting a mix of information from like back in the day, like how our moms
mhm,
used to do, and then how
absolutely.
we do things differently. So I appreciate everyone sharing with us all these tips.
Yes, because some of us, those of us who are a little more seasoned, we've done it a certain way probably for a very long time. And what's interesting sometimes is that those of us who have been cooking for quite a while, that sometimes we've gotten so comfortable doing it a certain way that we don't want to step out of that box and
Hmm.
try something new. But there are new things And you can teach an old dog new tricks.
Yes, you can.
And so we learned something new.
Yeah.
And I've learned a few things from my daughter, where she's taken what I've given her. She started with what I did, and now she's made it hers.
Mhm.
And son as well. And so it's nice to do something new and
It
something
is.
interesting. Now Vicky's asking, what herbs do we put in the butter to rub on the turkey? Would basil work in the herb butter? Now, Miss Denise, you want to talk about that herb butter that you use?
Sure. Like I like to chop up some thyme, some
Mm-hmm.
rosemary, and I will put the thyme, the rosemary, sometimes basil, but usually thyme,
Mm-hmm.
rosemary, a little oregano, salt, pepper, and I
Mm-hmm.
will put it in a grinder because
Mm-hmm.
rosemary can be
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of tough.
kind of tough. So if I
Mm-hmm.
put it in the grinder to chop it up, and sage.
Mm-hmm. And sage.
Time
Mm-hmm.
to chop it up so that it's nice and smooth, and then I'll put it in softened butter, give
Mm-hmm.
that a good stir so that it's all
Mm-hmm.
fluid, and then just rub it all over. Basil probably could work.
Yes.
Basil could work, but I typically don't use basil. I'm more going to use thyme, rosemary, maybe some oregano, but sage because you got to have
Definitely
sage
sage.
for I
Mm-hmm.
like sage for turkey.
Mhm, mhm. And it doesn't hurt that while you're making your compound butter to do a double batch. So
Mhm.
that way you always have it in your freezer because not only can you use it for your turkey, you can use it for your steaks. You can
Mhm.
use it for your chicken. You can use it for if you're making a pork loin, whatever it is that you're going to make. You can always take some of that herb butter out and smooth it over whatever kinds of meats that you may be preparing.
Great idea. I never thought to make extra to put in the fridge for later. I like that idea. I'm gonna have to try
Yeah.
that.
Just, slice. Now I slice them. I
Mhm,
slice I put it into a log
mhm,
and then slice it. And then that way I can take a portion out when I need it.
oh,
But herb butters are great. They're
mm,
absolutely great. And my first herb butter wasn't prepared by me. It was prepared by the big guy.
really?
He and the guys decided that they were going to do a Valentine dinner. It was three guys. They decided they were going to do a Valentine dinner for us. Honey, they put on their tuck shirts, their bow ties, these cute little aprons, and they cooked the dinner. They had steak, basic steak dinner, baked potatoes, all that. But they prepared this
I
herb butter that was to die for.
mhm.
And it was so good. It was just a thought. But,
Yeah.
you know, hey, on steak. And it was delicious. So
Well,
keep that.
when you go to those fancy steakhouses, sometimes they will give you a nice little herb butter. So I'm
Mhm,
going to do that. The next time I make an herb butter, I'm going to make extra and put some in a little log and set it aside for later. So thank
mhm.
you for that idea.
Yeah. Um, let's see, who was Cynthia said an ad came out this week and it had a picture that looked like the turkey deep fryers that were so popular, but it was
Oh.
an outdoor air fryer. It holds 20 pounds of meat, basically an outdoor oven. Huh.
Hmm.
That's a thought because now, to be honest with you, frying turkeys, keep that in mind. You want to do that outside.
Not
And
in the garage,
yeah,
outside.
and like in technically with the aroma that we like to use, we really could sit in. I can sit it on my deck if I just want to, kind of get it out of the way. I
Mhm.
can put it out there on the deck, let it do its thing. It's right there at an outlet, and let it prepare the turkey. And so then I have room enough to do everything else. But Terry said her first Thanksgiving, and bless your heart, she said her first Thanksgiving, she didn't take out the bag of giblets either.
So we're not
Now,
alone.
you are not alone. There are some other folks who are here with you who and we probably just barely got under the wire ourselves. Um, Doris said that she has one of the big electric roasters as well, and she says she's used it for so many things. She does a giant batch of chili that's perfect. It's perfect for baking a bunch of potatoes
Oh,
for a baked potato bar. Oh,
mm-hmm.
oh, Doris, I'm so glad you mentioned that. I could do that for our seniors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Let me focus. All right,
Focus, focus.
and I could. She said she's cooked bunch of meatloaves at one
Okay.
time. So that's a great idea. That's a great idea. Um, Charlene, hi, Charlene. Oh, she did it too, and she said it was awful. And yes, Terry, it's embarrassing, but you know what? We get past it. We give ourselves some grace and we keep rolling
Yes, keep
because the
rolling.
bottom line of it is we are all at that point of learning.
And
And
the good part, here's the good part. 5 years from now, nobody's gonna remember that you did that. Or if they do, it'll be like, girl, do you remember when you forgot to take those giblets out of turkey? And you'll be laughing. Yes, I cannot believe I did that. It'll be one of those stories in the family that you tell, like, every now and then I'll bring up when my daughter burned up my new stove on Christmas.
oh
My brand new
no.
stove. Every now and then, not too much.
Yes.
But Erica said she's never roasted a whole turkey. You know
Mm,
what? If you can cook a turkey breast, you can cook a whole turkey.
mhm.
You don't do anything any different to it.
No,
It's
no.
the same way.
No. And I'm telling you, if it's just a matter of getting it seasoned, getting it
Mhm.
thawed, getting it kind of cleaned off, and getting it seasoned, putting it in. And if you're nervous about it being dry, then I would try the method of turning it over on the breast and letting that baby cook.
Mhm.
And just if you want to do it low and slow, give it plenty of time. And like I said, get that butterball, the butterball address that I gave you. And I mean, they walk you
They
through every moment. And so you can't miss it. And I have it here. I also have it in the description box so that you can just click on it and go to it very quickly. And any questions that you may have, this is their website so that you can also, if you're new at at preparing a turkey, this is a great place to be able to go. And you're going to the people who are authorities.
Yes. And
You
one
know,
other thing, you were talking about the roaster. A lot of times when you buy those turkey roasters in the store, they're like an open pan with a rack in
mhm,
it. The turkey's going to sit on the rack. There's no lid on it. And then I think you had
mhm,
mentioned in our note that you'd like to put aluminum foil on it. Now, when I'm
mhm,
cooking my turkey in my nice new aroma roaster, I put the lid on it when I roast it,
mhm.
and that keeps all the heat in. And I think the additional heat helps it to cook a little faster.
It
And
does.
then we'll take the lid off and then let the skin crisp up and all of that. Do you want to share what to do for those new homemakers out there who maybe they've got that open roasting pan and the
Absolutely. I know
aluminum
that
foil,
with the
and
rack on
what about this little pop-up thing?
you brought that. I saw that, and we all hit at the same time. You know what, Terry? That little pop up thing is worthless,
Take it out.
and just take it out because the bottom line is that you want to make sure you want to make sure that you use a thermometer. It is worth spending the $5 to buy a thermometer to make sure that your turkey is done.
And I'm so glad you brought that up because how many
Absolutely.
young homemakers? I mean, when I
Mhm.
first started, I used that little pop-up thing.
I
So
did.
but I just want to say, Terry, thank you for bringing it up.
Mhm.
Now back to Miss
Absolutely.
Leona.
And the nice thing the nice thing is with that little pop-up, if you forget to take it out, then it's okay, but don't depend on it. Like I said, if you don't have a thermometer, then this is a good time to make sure you go to that leg and get him nice and loose. And if he is not loose where you can just almost pull that leg right off, then you know he's not ready. He's not ready. And so, but we've all used it. You know, Butterball was known for having that little pop up. And even they have said, you know, don't depend on it because it's not dependable.
Mm-hmm.
So just keep that in mind. Now, I have used this as well.
Yes.
Charlene's talking about using a turkey bag in the roaster, and she cooks it upside down. Now, for those of you who may not have used a turkey bag, they are so convenient
So nice.
because of the fact that everything is in the bag and your roaster stays nice
I would
and
use that.
clean. And if you're going to use an open roaster, it's the perfect thing to use. And now's the time to get them
Mhm.
because they will disappear very quickly because everybody wants one. And I know when I buy them, I usually buy at least 2 or 3 because I know I've got, you know, other holidays yet to come. So keep that in mind. But the roaster, the turkey bag is wonderful,
Yeah.
wonderful with a good sturdy roasting pan. Now Granville's talking about I'm not sure if Granville's girl or boy, but Granville, you can let me know. I think Granville's a guy, and Granville, a roasting pan is great. And you know, even Walmart, I know last year had these very reasonable roasting pans that you could purchase. Now, we're not talking about those aluminum pans because they are too flimsy. This was heavy, but it was only maybe $10, where some of your better roasting pans may cost you $25, $30, but they're going to last you perhaps a little longer. But if you don't have it and you're trying to watch your budget, Walmart does have a nice sturdy roasting pan that is reasonable. So keep that in mind. We've got Florence with us tonight. Hello, hello. Florence, are you cooking for Thanksgiving? Let us know. Now Vicky's whoops, I clicked the wrong one. Vicky said that she's planning to use basil. Okay, so that's going to give it more of a kind of an Italian herbs of Provence flavor, and which is fine.
Which is fine.
And I know if I were going to use basil, then I would definitely have a mixture of butter and olive oil, so that really gets that Italian herby flavor right in there. So keep that in mind as well. The herb butter is one. Oh, Nitty T, you're right. Veggies and rice. That is great. I've got Mom Margie who's here tonight. Hello, hello. I'm glad you're with us tonight. And she's got both saying hello to both of us. Now let's see.
Hi, Mom Margie.
Oh, that's sweet, Tutu. Tutu saying no shame in a turkey breast, and try to get one with the skin attached, and it's just as good. You're absolutely right. And one thing about a turkey breast, you have options with that turkey breast. You don't have to cook it in the oven. You can utilize your crock pot,
air fryer.
You can utilize your air fryer, and air fry is usually pretty quick too. And so, and it's really good. It makes that skin perfect. And so you just have to watch it. And if you wet brine it, then it shouldn't get dry. And that's the only thing that you have to be careful with. Ella says she's cooked with a big old roaster of greens for outing. She's already cooked them.
You got to take greens to church or something. You can cook it in that.
Yes. Michelle says she uses her electric roaster like Doris. She says she does it for baked potatoes. And she said tomorrow she's making a big batch of chili in it to give to anyone who may need a meal due to not getting their November SNAP benefits.
Where are you making that
Yay.
outdoors? Like, are you doing it at church? Are you doing it at home? Are you, where are you going to be providing those meals? Just curious.
Yeah, that's a great thing. That's a great thing.
But
And
thank you so much for
that
blessing
is
others.
wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. Um, Deb said a lower temperature of 325 can result in a more tender turkey. You're absolutely
Mhm.
right, because it cooks more slowly, helps prevent the meat from drying out, and it's about 20 minutes per pound. Yep, you're
Mhm.
right. Lower temperature, low and slow.
Yeah.
I think I got that twice. And Joyce said she got her bags on clearance last year for 2 cents. Her
Oh my
turkey
goodness.
bags. Wow.
Hey,
And
she's got enough to send us some.
yes, for a pack, she got 75 so that she could share with the family. That
Hey,
is
way to
a
go.
great idea. Good
Way
for
to
you,
go.
Joyce.
That's a great bargain.
Oh, now I use mine for ribs, barbecue ribs sometimes. Terry says she uses her turkey bags during the year when she's cooking turkey parts, legs, and wings. That's a good idea as well. Um, Now Debbie said that she seasons with salt, pepper, garlic, thyme on her turkey, and she also seasons under the skin too. That's wonderful. Uh, oh, let's come back.
Look at what Charlene says.
Okay, let me go down.
Charlene doing her first sweet potato pie.
Okay,
It was 8:39.
okay. I got pie crust. How did I miss her?
8:39. Under Tommy Bites.
Okay. Oh.
30.
Charlene. Oh my God. Her first sweet potato pie was terrible. Her crust wasn't done. Oh, bless your heart. Oh, so he just didn't stay in there long enough. That's the thing. It didn't, sometimes with the sweet potato pie, you have to cover it. And that way you can cook it longer. And that's funny. We had sweet potato pie today that we served at our church today, but and they were okay, but and I didn't make them, so I
You could put a
but
collar around the crust though too.
that's true.
That'll help keep the crust from burning up. But
Mhm.
do you bake your crust first and then put the pie
I
filling,
do. I
or do
do.
you do bake your crust first?
I do.
Well,
I
why don't you
bake it.
talk about that?
Yeah, when you're making a pie, keep in mind, and I do this for apple pies. I do it for sweet potato, pecan, any of them that make it a little soggy. And I do with cobblers, even for peach cobblers to just kind of pre-bake
Hmm.
the crust portion and give it about 10 minutes. If you want to put dry beans in the bottom of it to hold it down, punch holes in it, dot it, and cook it for about 10 minutes to give it a head start. And then
Pour the
get
beans
it
out.
ready, pour everything out, and then put your filling in and go ahead and cook your pie or your cobbler, whichever it is that you're preparing.
I
And
had to, I had to say pour the beans out because somebody would be thinking, well, do I pour the filling in on top of the beans?
no,
Because
no,
because what you don't know what you don't know.
that's true. That's true. That's true. That's a good thing. Now Charlene's also saying that she just cornbread dressing and mashed potatoes
Yes, we
because
also
some of
do
her
that.
family doesn't like dressing, and that's in our family too.
Mhm.
We
Yeah,
do cornbread dressing, we do mashed potatoes, and we do sweet
baked
potatoes
sweet potatoes.
in addition to the sweet potato pie. But
Mhm.
um, I was sharing with someone that I was going to do a sweet potato pound cake, and they said, "Oh, okay." I said, "Well, it's a different consistency from everything else. So
Mhm.
that's something a little different." So that's a lot of fun.
I bet
And-
you can mail those.
Huh?
I bet you can mail those.
Ha! I bet I could too. You know what I didn't see? Oh, guys, went to Hobby Lobby before we get too far. went to Hobby Lobby and had such a good time while we're playing around. But we were thinking about our Thanksgiving things. And I found, let's see if I can get it, these
Oh, those are pretty.
beautiful, aren't they pretty? To
Hmm.
give thanks, the napkins. The Thanksgiving items were 50% off. So I got a couple
Was
of
that
packs
this
of
week or
those.
last week?
Huh?
Was that this week or last week?
This week.
Okay, I did.
And then I found the plates,
Oh, those are
nice,
pretty.
nice size plates and nice, decoration that's on them that will look nice on your table. And I got this one in particular because I'm going to take them to my son's house because we usually have Thanksgiving there.
Hmm.
And she's not a big orange kind of person, a lot of pumpkin colors. She doesn't do that. So it's more of greens or blues, more natural. So I thought, okay, that'll work. But
Hmm.
I also thought, Miss Denise, we haven't done a tiered tray in quite a while. And we got started with tiered. Miss Denise got us started with these trays and
Your
all this
play
stuff
collabs.
many, many moons ago. And I thought about that. Let me take this Butterball off. I think we everyone who wants it has probably gotten it. And the fun part was when I went in. Look what for those of you who have followed me at Christmas,
Oh,
it's all
gingerbread.
about the little guys
Well, those
here.
are adorable.
Aren't they precious?
Yes.
I thought, oh, that's cute. Now, I'm going to have to do a tiered tray. That's
Mhm.
going to have to be done. But here is my prize for the day.
Oh,
Oh,
I love that.
is he not cute?
That is too cute. What are you going to put in it? Because he's too big to try to drink hot chocolate out of.
Oh, yeah. Flowers. This is going to be a centerpiece
I love it.
with lots of greenery and maybe some poinsettias, or
Mhm.
maybe find a nice poinsettia that the pot can sit in it. And I thought, oh man, that would be great to be able to use. Now, I noticed that, yes, Ella, he is gorgeous. He
He
is
is so cute.
absolutely gorgeous. And I thought, oh my goodness. And 50% off. There you go.
Okay. Well, I'm going to have to go out there
And check him out.
Friday.
He is so cute. Um,
Yeah.
Joyce said, oh, I'm
So
assuming she's talking about the bags,
the
and
bags.
she uses them as liners for her triple warmers and in her crock pots. That's true. She can make a caramel cream pumpkin cake. Ooh, that sounds good for Christmas. You do a blackberry jam cake with caramel icing,
Wow.
Joyce. I love it. Nobody around here does that. And let me ask Joyce, do you make yours early enough that you can intoxicate the cake? I put mine in. Okay, bad girl, bad girl. I put mine
My
inside of
grandma
a
used to
tin
do that.
and wrap it in cloth, in cheesecloth, and then you take either rum or scotch or whatever, and take a jigger and pour over the cake.
My grandma used to
And
do that with her pound.
oh my goodness, when you cut into that cake Christmas
Bad
Day
girl.
with eggnog, whoo, have mercy. We are just, it is too good.
Mm.
So let me know what you do. Or do you keep yours very nice and just bake it the way it is? I'm having fun with that.
Hers is probably
Really,
kid friendly.
yes. Well, but even back in the day, remember the kids couldn't eat it. They
Yeah,
would they would put it
my grandma
away.
used to put that. I can see grandma now pouring that whiskey or something over the top
Uh-huh.
of that cake. I see her now. I don't know what it was, but pouring on top of that cake.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And Ella says she's going to Hobby Lobby tomorrow. Absolutely. Go and look
I can't go
because
till Friday.
he is so cute. And Joyce said, yes, she's a
Wow.
10 in the cheesecake with bourbon. All right, all
Mhm.
right. I love it. And so guys, this has been so much fun. Now, let me ask the question
Did
before.
you get everything?
Let's see, make sure we got everything done. Um,
We talked about 165-degree temperature for the
yep,
breast,
we
170
sure
for
did.
the thigh.
Yep. And I have a I've already put together a little post for everyone just to remind you of some of the things that we've talked about for your turkeys. And I'm curious before we leave tonight, are you a pumpkin pie or a sweet potato pie person?
Sweet
I
potato.
Oh, I'm a sweet potato girl. Who else before we go tonight?
Hey, you forgot one other thing.
What did I forget?
What they can make ahead.
Oh, now I make macaroni and cheese in advance if I can, and put it into the freezer. Cover it well with first with plastic wrap, and then with foil. And I always cook my macaroni and cheese in one of the aluminum pans. I just have to
Mhm.
tell you, I do, because then when I'm finished with it, I can just throw it away.
I like
And
to put mine in one of my pretty dishes because when else am I going to use those pretty dishes? If I
I
don't use them for my
know.
days or for my family and friends, who I'm saving it
Mhm.
for? My funeral? I want to use them pretty dishes so I can enjoy them. So I
All
put,
right, Miss Denise. Well, I guess I'll have to break down and put out the pretty dishes.
yeah.
But now, Debbie, we've got a sweet potato. We're gonna see who's gonna win here. We've got Erica says sweet potato.
Oh, Debbie was pumpkin cheesecake.
Yeah. Oh, pumpkin cheesecake. We've got Molly's a sweet potato pie.
Mhm.
Sharon Tack is a sweet potato pie. Let's see. Terry said desserts ahead. Um, Joy says she has to do both. Hubby loves sweet potato, and the kids love pumpkin.
I like pumpkin. Everybody else likes. I like both. And everybody else likes sweet potatoes. So I'll make like one little pumpkin for me.
Okay, Rivera does pumpkin pie. Now, my son likes pumpkin pie, but I'm not a fan. Cynthia said her mom made her cake early one year, poured so much brandy on it that when she that when she put it in the deep freezer, it wouldn't freeze. Oh, bless her
That
heart.
was a lot of
That
brandy.
was a lot of brandy, but I bet you that cake could walk by itself.
That's
That was
probably what
probably
my
a good
grandmother would have
cake.
done. I remember seeing grandma pour that brandy on top of
Oh
that.
yeah. Oh yeah. It was smoking with some country ham on the side.
Yes.
Vibing with Yaya said sweet potato pie. And Dory said pumpkin and sweet potato. And she even likes pecan pie. The
Yes.
big guy's a pecan pie. And Cynthia's pumpkin. Uh-oh. And Deb Whitmore Mack suggested we sharpen our knives before carving our. You are absolutely right.
Mhm.
Sharpen those knives before we start carving our turkey. Our first turkey looked like it had been in a fight. Her knives were so dull.
Oh, you know what? Now let's talk about carving the turkey. This is just kind of interesting, and it's kind of a tradition. It's like in our family, the men always carve the turkey
Mhm.
for some reason. Like the men carve the turkey. So when now I don't remember my dad carving the turkey. I just don't remember. I don't have those memories. But in my nuclear family, like my husband always carved the
Mhm.
turkey, and I don't know why I insisted that he do that. So he would always carve the turkey, and when he first got started carving that turkey, it did look like it had been in a fight. But over time, he got pretty good at it. And
Mhm.
you can even look on YouTube. You can look on
Mhm.
Marcus channel,
Mhm.
and they show you different ways to carve the turkey, and then how they even
Mhm.
put it on the platter so that it looks all nice and pretty.
Mhm.
So then one year, my daughter hosted Thanksgiving at her house. So when we went there, she was going to say, Dad, carve. And I like, mm-mm. I said, this is Carlton's turkey to carve. And he had never carved a turkey before. So my husband was helping him learn how to carve the turkey, his first turkey. And it was
Aw.
just so nice to kind of see, the
Aw.
two of them work together. And so
Mhm.
now we go there, Carlton always carves the turkey. I don't know why it's a guy thing. I don't know why.
Mhm.
But it just is for our family anyway.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
they carve the turkey and it's just fun.
It is, it is. And that's one thing about we've gotten to the point now because we have such a large group at
Hmm.
the holiday that typically we usually carve most of it, completely
Yeah.
before putting it even out on the table. But it's so nice to have at least one that you can look at and let them carve right there. And
Yeah.
it's kind of, it's a rite of passage when you can when you
Exactly.
can when you can
Exactly.
slice that. But when I got married, one of my gifts was an electric knife. And
Mm.
so the first time the big guy carved the turkey, he used the electric knife. And his excuse was because I was going to try to do it myself. He said, "No, we don't want to make a hospital run," because he just knew I'd probably end up cutting myself.
Yes.
But it's certainly something to. It's fun to do, and I
Well,
think
it
the guys
is.
just like it. They like to be able to do that.
Right. And that's one of the
Mhm,
ways they contribute sometimes too. And I
mhm,
can see where
mhm.
my grandson CJ, has now watched Carlton carve the turkey. I can see one day him learning to carve the turkey. And then our son, like Jason and Justin, they watch their dad carve the turkey. So yeah. Is it difficult to make a pecan pie? No, pecan pies are
No,
so easy.
it is very easy, very easy. And in fact, we may have to cook up a pecan pie between now and or before the holiday,
For the
so
holiday.
that you can see G. Rivera how to do it. And because it really isn't that difficult, it's just a matter of having the pecans, and it is. It is actually pretty quick to do.
Mhm.
It looks difficult.
It's pretty much syrup and butter.
Exactly, exactly. It is so easy. So, with that is something that I work on between now and then to get that. And we've got a sweet potato pie one out today,
Yes.
and for sure. But we do have quite. Only had one person really mentioned. Well, two people mentioned the apple pie,
I
but
gotta do it. I love
and
apple
I think I love my apple pie,
pie. Mhm.
and our and apple cobbler, and
He's
so
cobbler here.
yeah. Oh, okay. You're the peach cobbler.
Mhm.
And so, but they are just, it's funny how traditions come
Yeah.
about and you have a
Well,
chance.
the other tradition we have in our family is the fruit salad. We have that too.
That's true.
Every Thanksgiving and Christmas. The only time we make it
Mhm,
is Thanksgiving and Christmas is fruit
mhm.
salad. And when we have a new bride that comes into the family, we'll give her the recipe. So, but yeah, it's a family recipe.
Aw.
So yeah.
Mom Margie, she said she enjoys watching us. And she said
Oh,
that her heart's full of tears right now.
why?
Oh, I am so sorry, Mom Margie. I don't know if you're thinking about things that have happened and in the
Mhm.
past and
Or
what
missing her
we're doing
mom,
now.
maybe.
Yeah. So just think about that. I know that's the thing about holidays. The holidays bring joy, but sometimes they also bring along with it a little bit of
Always empty
sadness.
seat.
And I have cried over many a pot of gravy.
Mhm.
And because that was always the thing that my mom made was the gravy. And she made the best gravy ever.
Mhm.
And so, in my opinion. And
Mhm. I'll
so,
take
yeah. So, and that's one of those things that even after 30 years, I still think of her every time I make a pot of gravy. So, just, keep those in mind. Hold those memories. It's okay.
exactly. Hold those
Mhm.
memories. So yeah.
It is all right. It is all right.
And
So
speaking of memories, so often we talk about going to mom and dad's or going here, going there. There
Mhm.
are those of you who don't have anywhere to go, and
Mhm.
that's okay too. And I like to
Mhm.
encourage my young homemakers to
Oh,
begin a tradition of having a
mhm.
holiday at, oh my goodness. Oh, Leona, you got to say a prayer.
I am so
Oh my
sorry.
goodness. Last week.
Oh,
Hmm.
mm. Well, let us just stop right now.
Mhm.
In the name of Jesus, we just think of Mom Margie and her family. Lord, I know we both know what it is to lose our moms. And that's probably one of the toughest things, Father, that you get us through. But the key thing is that you will get us through. And the tears that we share, the memories that we remember, Lord, we just thank you for those because the tears are going to help to wash the pain away. The memories will help us to sustain those good things that we never want to forget. And we just all want right now to just think of Margie and to just give her all the love that we possibly can. Father, be with her family, and in the name of Jesus, just give her the strength that she needs. Amen.
Amen. Oh my goodness.
Wow, we are so
Yeah.
sorry. So
Sorry.
sorry. Wow. That
Whew.
wow. I am sorry. I am so sorry.
Mhm.
That's a tough one. Oh, Deb said her mom made the best dumplings. She made them from scratch and cut them into slices. Mm.
Debbie, I saw a recipe the other day for a dumpling casserole.
Oh,
Chicken and dumpling casserole. It's one of those 1950 dishes I was telling you about.
we're gonna have to work on that.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then Granville talks about letting the turkey rest.
rest? Yes, yes. Gramble said always let your turkey rest for at least 30 minutes out of the oven before you carve it. Does anyone know why? That's because we want to keep those juices in the
Mhm.
turkey. And I really appreciate all of you for taking this time. And my blessed Ness is sharing that she had lost her mom back in April,
That's
and
right. Oh, I'm
I
sorry.
remember
This will be
that.
your first Thanksgiving without your
Mhm.
mom.
Yes,
Well, those same blessings go to you too.
go to
This
you
is
as
gonna be a
well.
hard Thanksgiving. That first Thanksgiving is always the hardest, but
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So we are fortunate, Mom Margie, that we have the best community ever.
yes,
And
we do.
I know that each of these ladies and gentlemen who are here will rally. They will keep you in prayer,
Mhm.
keep you lifted up, as well as my blessed nest, all of you to be able to take the time and just keep them in your prayers. Um, Carmen sharing with G. Rivera that she said it's not difficult. She follows the pecan recipe on the bottle of Karo syrup.
Yep, that's
Absolutely.
it. That's it.
And
Came through.
and it is delicious. It is delicious. And and in fact, that's the recipe I've used forever.
Oh, me too. The
Yeah.
Karo
You know,
syrup is a recipe.
don't mess with a good thing when it works. And
Well,
so
the one thing I was going to say though was for you
mhm,
young homemakers who are just beginning your family, I encourage you to consider starting a holiday tradition for just your nuclear family, even
mhm,
though you might be going away to somewhere else, but just
mhm,
maybe just a little something with your own
mhm,
family just to celebrate the holidays. But just one interesting thing, like my daughter and her family have always come here for Christmas. Even when the kids were little, wherever they lived, they would always come here for Christmas. So the kids look at this as coming home for Christmas. Now they never lived in Indiana, but they look at coming home to Indiana for Christmas.
mhm,
And so Jill said you told them one year, well, why don't we just create our own traditions and have Christmas at our own home?
mhm.
And the kids said, well, why would we want to do that? We just came home for Christmas. I'm like, I'm not mad at them, but I will be
Oh,
going to
that's
Georgia for
cute.
Christmas this year.
Well, you know what we always did, even though we might have traveled for the holiday, I always prepared the same dinner our traditional, whether it was Thanksgiving or Christmas, whatever it was, I always prepared that dinner here.
Hmm.
So when they came home, they had their dinner,
They had
and
food
then
at
it was
home.
already ready to go. So that's always nice to be able to do. And I've done that since we first got married. Always had dinner already here.
I like to have food here because if I go away, I
Absolutely.
don't want to come home and now there's nothing to eat.
Oh,
No
I know.
leftovers. Yeah.
Oh, Miss Denise, while I'm thinking about it, I just happened to see cranberry sauce. Guys, Miss Denise and I have a thing about cranberry sauce. I picked up 2 cans, 2 more cans the other day, just to make sure that I'd have it in my cabinet. But I do like to make the cranberry relish
Mm.
because it's just pretty to go on the table. And for those of you who want to impress someone that you may be serving dinner to, it's the quickest, easiest recipe that you can do. And certainly, cranberry relish is so good. And it's
Especially
something
with
that
chimes in it.
absolutely chop
But
those
you gotta
little.
be careful if people have nut allergies.
Oh, that's true. That's true. You have to check your guest out, and you have to be careful with if you. Some of the recipes call for a little bit of pineapple,
Mhm.
crushed pineapple in there. Check to make sure that no one has a pineapple sensitivity, and if not, you're ready to go. But
Yeah.
but there are a variety of different cranberry relish recipes that you can use. So if you have to switch out a few ingredients, it's okay. But just keep that in mind that
I agree. That's a good thing to learn how to make, or even if it's just
mhm.
the cranberry sauce.
Yes,
That's a
yes,
good thing to learn how to make.
yes.
So when they say, "Well, what can you bring?" You can say, "Well, I can bring the cranberry sauce." Perfect something that get
Mhm.
good at something, even if it's just
Absolutely.
one thing, so that they'll say, "Oh, well, like my one sister, she is the potato salad maker." Now, I know how to make it, and other people can make it, but my one sister, she puts her foot in it. So it's
Absolutely.
like when somebody's got to bring potato salad,
Mhm.
she's gonna bring the potato salad.
Yeah,
Gonna bring
yeah.
the mac and cheese. Mix
Mhm.
gonna bring the sweet potato. So get good at one thing, and you can gradually add to those things.
Oh, yeah.
If someone say, "Well, what can you bring?" You can say, "Well, I can bring the corn pudding, or I can make
Mhm,
potatoes, or I can
mhm.
bring cranberry sauce." And they
Absolutely,
say, "Well,
absolutely.
you can just can't you just buy ocean spray?" Well, I could, but mine is so much better.
It's funny, Laurie's down here. She says she just bought a, uh, cranberry jello mold with
Oh,
a cranberry orange lemon relish, or she made a
mm,
cranberry jello mold with a cranberry orange lemon relish. Oh, that sounds delicious.
cranberry mold. I don't know where it is now.
I know I well, and if, um, what have I used?
My grandma used to have a
I
copper.
just Yeah, I did too, and I have a feeling that it probably got tossed. So
Yeah, now we need all those things
I
back.
know, I know. Well, I mean, you end up using a bowl,
Mhm.
but, the
Yeah.
nice thing about that is that if you put, your plastic wrap in the
Mm.
bottom of a bowl, and then pour the cranberry, the orange, the
Ah,
relish in there, put another piece on top, and put that in and let it congeal in the refrigerator. You can flip it out onto a beautiful plate or a dish, whatever you're going to use, and then just remove the plastic from it. And it is absolutely perfectly shaped and ready to go.
mm,
And I know some of them have cream cheese in it where you can serve it to have on crackers, like if you want to do it as an appetizer. And we were talking a little bit about appetizer, but that's a wonderful way. Um, Debbie said kids like her mac and cheese, so she tries to make it at Christmas when they're here. And Erica says she makes the cranberry salad every year. All
mhm,
right,
mhm. Yeah.
we're the family. Everybody's got their special dish. This is nice, and I think we'll
Oh,
close with this one. Carol said that after losing her mother, she looks through the cookbooks and the recipes to find the things that she cooked. She knows that she's found them when the page is well marked and splattered with food spots. That
Yeah,
is so true. That
that
is
is
so true.
sweet too.
And I can say that I have treasured away, put away some recipe cards that my mom had written in her handwriting,
Mhm.
and I'm saving them. I made copies of them so I could save them for the grand girls
Yes.
and grand guy, so
Yeah.
that they will have those, and hopefully they will treasure them as much as I do.
Mhm.
So we look forward to those kind of things. Now, Vicky says she prefers the homemade cranberry sauce now, but still serve the canned cranberry sauce for those that prefer that. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. So, um, she said she loves the ease of making the fried turkey for Thanksgiving. That's true. That's true. We have some friends that like to do that. And Vicky says she likes looking through the older cookbooks as well. So, guys, we have lots of planning to do, lots of things
Yes,
to
we
do.
do.
And now is the time between now and next Wednesday. Here's your homework assignment is to start to think about those things that you may consider making for Thanksgiving. And next week, we're going to take it to another level. We're not going to focus so much on the food itself, but we're going to start to branch out a little more with some of the other things that we need to do and to prepare for the holiday. And we need to start now.
Yes.
Don't wait. Start now. There's a channel that I like to watch. I was telling Miss Janice, she's called Creating with Mimi. She has this little thing that she puts up that says, "Run, don't walk." I'm gonna have to make me a sign that says that. Run, don't walk. Go now and go get this. So now it's the time for us to start thinking about our menus, and certainly um, looking over, seeing what you need, seeing what you have on your shelf, making sure you have the spices that you need so that when that week comes, you will be ready to work and get things done and not have to go to the grocery store because you'll have everything already in your home.
You're ready. Mhm.
So I hope that your week is fun. I hope that it's loving. I hope that you will keep each other lifted and in prayer. Miss Janice, thank you so much for tonight. It's always a pleasure.
It's always fun.
And so, to all of you, we will certainly say good night, and we will see you at this time, homemaking with purpose
Next
next
week.
week, ready to go at 7:45. We'll see you then.
Bye. Good night.